Here with us now, the brothers Nigerian, John and Pete, are both here. It's nice because Pete was on the other night, John. He said he enjoyed that more as a solo interview, but now he has to sell.
Bet he did.
Yeah, he did. He did. He said, we can't, something's wrong with John. He said, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I'll handle this.
Don't worry about it.
We'll let you go first tonight. Calm everybody down. Crazy week. How do you look at it going into next week?
Well, I'm here at the Masters. And obviously, there's a lot of, that's why I've got the
Makes sense, yeah.
Dave Matthews charity on here. There's a lot of business folks down here, as you know, because business is done at places like this. And an exclusive venue like this has obviously some of the people pretty nervous about the market. A lot of that selling that you described, Connell, was coming out of Europe. In some cases, it was Japanese that were holding those bonds in Europe, and that's where the selling was coming from in terms of bonds down. That means yields up.
Does that worry people? That worries people more than the stock market, right? That kind of stuff?
Well, I think they worry a little bit about what the United States do in terms of could they put some sort of a policy in place that would hurt their ownership of bonds and things like that. Very unlikely, but nonetheless, when the markets are volatile as they are, people are concerned outside of our borders. I think inside the borders, a lot of us felt a lot better about what was going on because the Dow and the NASDAQ and so forth, they were up about 6% on the week. So, you know, that was a nice recovery after the beating that we took Thursday and Friday, the tariff independence day.
I guess the question then, and John, you can pick up on this, is how long do we stay in all of this for the 90 days? If nothing is, does the market kind of feel the same as it's felt, or do things calm down a little bit? How do you look at next week?
I think if we have a lot less rhetoric out of Washington, in particular, of course, out of the president and the trade group, I think that would bring volatility down very quickly.
Right.
In other words,
unless he got a bad checkup today and he's lost his voice, what are you talking about? He's suddenly going to be Mr. Quiet, or something? You can't really think that he's not going to talk about all this stuff.
I think he'll talk about it, but as long as he doesn't enact any more of these tariffs, the tit for tat stuff, I think then we're going to start seeing the markets calm, and with each day that he doesn't do that, I think we'll see a pretty rapid decline in the volatility metric, which, as Pete said, got back down into the mid-30s. I think we could see mid-20s if he would just calm down for even 1 week. We'd see the mid-20s again.
In volatility. So does that make you a buyer of certain stocks then, for example, to go back to stocks for a moment, Pete, that have come down in value? And if the market's like that, you start to see some value, and if so, kind of what are you looking at?
Right, and you're mostly probably looking at the quality names that got maybe oversold when you're looking for something like that. And this is something that, you know, Warren Buffett, we talk about him all the time, all for the right reasons, in my opinion. He talks about when there's panic and when there's blood in the streets, that's the time to start buying. Well, we've seen some panic and we've seen a lot of blood in the streets. I think there are opportunities out there. There are very specific names, however, and I think JP Morgan was a great example of that today. And I'd also add to that the earnings themselves, now that we're back into truly earnings season, which is right now. Today we had JP Morgan, we had Morgan Stanley, we had all these various financials. What I really liked was they crushed it across the board. And I think because of that, that gives me even that much more hope in the fact that also you had the president out there talking about optimism and all the rest of it and the dealings that they're going to have to deal with China. I think there's a lot of reasons to be, I wouldn't say bullish, but more positive than we were, let's just say 4 or 5 days.
Not as skittish or not as bearish, because you know, you get in this environment where people were just selling everything and not even distinguishing between whether a company's going to be affected, whether a company's earnings. And if you're looking at individual companies and analyzing them, that's a little bit of a better sign, because then at least you know, I think at least. And by the way, John, how do they treat you down in Augusta? You know, that's about a guy like you, free spirit, walking. That's like the most stuck-up place on earth. But they're okay with you down there? Everything's okay? Don't you think, Pete?
Number one, the Waffle House and all the folks down here love us there. But at Augusta, there couldn't be nicer people. The staff at the course or at all of the party venues, and again, everybody's here. everybody from DraftKings to Wheels Up to Worth Magazine, all of these big,
How about
parts of
that? Giving a
capitalism.
plug to a private jet company, hoping they'll give wants a ride home. I mean, that is.
You know
did
them
you
all
notice
too well,
that? I'm getting to. We got to run. Thanks. I'm glad we did have you both, guys. Enjoy the Masters, John, and thanks a lot, Pete. I'm glad we had both of you guys on.